Morning everyone, welcome back.
Morning. You can do it with a clean.
Oh, she's poor Pat's cleaning her glasses.
Can't see without.
Oh, you are vain.
Well, I want to see what's going on.
Oh. Yeah, we got to where we'd just bought Rodley, which became the Breadline Gallery. In fact, we're sat in it now, but it's a long story to get to that. But yeah, we're, at that time we were still, I was working part-time and painting, and we, Pat and I did contract cleaning together. Not for ourselves, we were working for more. Well, we were working for ourselves, but it were all through more floor services, and they provided the gear. It was just in the back of my van all the time. And we went, I remember when we went to Tower House in Leeds.
Oh yes.
And
Pat strikes again.
it was, we were, I'll tell you what we were actually doing. The Tower House was probably one of the highest office buildings in Leeds at that time, and we went in on a weekend to do the public areas. That's where you get out of the lift. I don't know how many floors there were, maybe 10, something like that.
Yeah.
About 10 floors. When you get out of the lift, there's a public area, and then corridors leading to the offices. And we were in there to do the floors on all 10 of those public areas. And the idea, what you did was you had a bucket and a mop and this solution, which was a pink solution that you added to water, and you dipped your mop in it and you slopped it on the floor, and it softened all the polish on the floor. And when it didn't take long, a couple of minutes, and it was softened, and it was like a skating rink when it did that. And then I used to go over it with a machine with a head on it that spun round, and it had a wire wool mat on it, and I used to go over the floor, and it took it all off. And then Pat used to operate a drying machine, and that used to follow me. She used to follow me with it, and it sucked all this water up into like a plastic milk churn thing, and then you mopped it with a clean mop, and then you let that dry, and then you would go back and pour polish on the floor and spread it out with a lamb's wool applicator on a stick thing.
Yeah.
And you'd give it 2 coats of polish. You'd have to let each coat dry. So there we were. There's supposed to be nobody in the building. The only what you had to do really was work your way back to the lift. Put everything in the lift and go down to the next floor. You'd start at the top, and then on every floor work your way back to the lift and down to the next floor. Well, on one floor, Pat wheeled the dryer into the lift, and unbeknown to us, there must have been somebody in the building, because they'd pressed the button and the lift went down, and this machine was still plugged in, and the doors closed, the lift went down, and I just saw this cable
Whizzing.
It pulled the plug out of the wall, and it just went whizzing towards the lift doors that were closed, and when the plug hit the doors, it just boom,
Flew off.
flew off.
Me panicking. Oh, the machine's gone out the lift.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I remember in another building that was supposed to be empty, we were doing it, and like I say, once you slot this stuff down on the floor, it gets
Slippery.
like a skating rink. And all of a sudden this bloke walks out of this office right onto this floor, and the minute his feet hit this floor, they just shot up in the air, and he was literally horizontal, about 5 foot off the ground before he hit the deck.
Oh, he must have hurt himself.
Yeah, not nice.
And he would have been wet through and all, wouldn't he?
He did say, "I'm not supposed to be here," and he wasn't. There wasn't supposed to be anybody in the building. Yeah. So that's just a little anecdote of how me and Pat were earning money on the weekends. Doing this contract cleaning. Yeah. But it wasn't only that kind of cleaning, flooring cleaning we did at Moat. We actually did sanding and sealing, where you wood floors, where you sand one of these machines with a drum on it and a sandpaper over the drum, and you go up and down the floor to take all the muck off the wood. We used to do that, and we used to seal the floors with cellophane, which I was told was 100% polyurethane. It was crystal clear, dried like a plastic sheet. And that's one thing about it. If you didn't do it right and you didn't get it clean when you put this stuff down, you could, if you didn't prepare it properly, you could literally pull it up in a sheet. That's just a little bit about that flooring when me and Pat worked together doing the floors. Can you remember anything else from that time, Pat? Anything come to mind?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, I mean, we worked in quite a few places, didn't we?
I know we worked
at Bradford Bank.
At NatWest Bank.
That were a nice place.
The manager's office.
Yeah, they were nice.
Yeah.
Ceilings.
The beautiful buildings that NatWest used to occupy in
Yeah, they did. No, I can't think of any other incidents, really. No.
Okay, that's it for now. See you later.
Oh, can I just apologise to Ellen and Carl for Trevor's, well, you can see why we've no friends. Because he says what he thinks. No apologies for him. But I'll apologise.
Oh, I'm corrected. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye. Once we'd bought Rodley, we'd put that £100 cash down on it. The next job was to sell our house. So we bought, as I said to you before, we bought our house, the back-to-back, for £999 on rental purchase. And by this time, I think we'd been in it about 4 years, if I remember rightly. I think we bought Rodley in 1974. So we had to sell the house, and we put it up for sale for £2,000, which was 100% increased profit over 4 years. But going back to the 70s, the property market was obviously still thriving, Anyway, we did get a buyer for it. Didn't take long to get a buyer for it. And we thought everything was going hunky-dory until we got notification from their solicitors, the buyer solicitor, to say that they couldn't buy the house because building societies wouldn't lend on it because it was in a designated yellow zone. Designated yellow zone? Well, we got in touch with our solicitor, or maybe it were our solicitor that got in touch with us and told us this, because their solicitor had written to our solicitor. And Mr. Thackeray, our solicitor, explained to us that it was due for demolition.
No idea. Just living in
It
it.
was incredible.
Yeah.
So I said to Mr. Thacker, well, what does that mean? We can't sell it. And he says, no. He says, what we do is we serve Leeds City Council with a blight notice, and that compels them to buy it at market value. So that's what he did. And lo and behold, Leeds City Council bought the house for £2,300. Actually, £300 more than we were selling it originally. So we were then able to pay off what we owed Eric, and I think we had about 800 quid left to do the place up with.
Needed a lot of work.
Which it needed a heck of a lot of work.
Needed more.
In fact, when my mother and father, do you remember when they come down and saw it? You can't live in here.
You can't bring a baby in here.
Yes.
Poor little mite.
Yes, Tracy would only have been, what?
18 months.
18 months or something like that, yeah. Yeah, it was on the verge of being uninhabitable.
Yeah.
But we did sort it out. It had running water and it had electricity.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were used to living in primitive conditions, because when we bought the house in Armley, when we came out of the army, we didn't even have a cooker, and we were cooking on an open fire.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. My kitchen in Butts wasn't a proper kitchen. It were made out of the MFO boxes that our clothes and bits and pieces came back from Germany in. He came and he wanted to divide the kitchen from the dining space because it was just one big room. So he built a partition halfway up because the window was on this side, and he put dowling down so that the light would go through to the dining room. And he also put a ceiling light in, and the only way you could change the light bulb was go upstairs in the bedroom, lift the carpet up,
lift the floorboards up,
to change the light bulb, because this ceiling light, it was like fixed. It won't come undone, would it?
It wasn't a false ceiling.
No.
I put it into the original ceiling. It was all Mickey Mouse. And I suppose when...
It was all right. We lived in it for quite a while. And worktop lifted up so that I could get to me.
Top loader washing machine.
Yeah, well, one of them with washing machine on one side that spun, and then you had a spin dryer on other. It were a twin tub they were called.
Twin tub.
Yeah. I had to lift worktop up and chain it up so that I could get into it.
It were a very Mickey Mouse kitchen. Yeah.
And as he says, we didn't have a cooker for that 6 weeks or so, did we?
No.
So we were cooking beans in a pan on fire, bits of things.
But as it happened, nobody were going to live in it after us.
No, they won't.
Pulled them down.
No.
Yeah.
It was quite a nice house. It was double fronted, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Nice
Well,
room.
a lot of rooms in it.
2 big rooms downstairs and
we'd
4
had
bedrooms.
Andy living with us for a while, and then Jeff. He lived with us for a while as well. Jeff Whittaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was maybe a good thing it was pulled down.
Yeah. Mind you, when you go back there now.
Oh, and you see what they've put in its place. Oh,
horrible.
Dear, they don't make an improvement on these properties, do they?
No.
No.
It is.
I mean, we where we lived on Tong Road, all little streets had little shops on them and shops at top on All Lane, and now you go back and it's soulless. It's just
yeah, it is.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, it is. It's lost all its character. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure you could say that about a lot of
A
places.
lot of places, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean Bramley.
Bramley Town Street,
Yeah, my mum was born in Bramley, and I wrote a song about Bramley. What they did to it was criminal. Yeah. It had beautiful stone-built buildings, and there were little courtyards where people lived. I had an auntie who lived in one of these little cottages in these courtyards. Stone flags into little courtyards, all stone-built properties, cottages. And now, just these soulless, flat roof shops.
Yeah.
They just pulled beautiful buildings down, and in the place they built these modern flat roof things. Terrible. Yeah. Ruined the
Rodley actually comes under Bramley postcode, doesn't it? And
unfortunately.
Bramley's not
a nice place. High crime levels. Yeah. Drug abuse place. Terrible. Yeah. And Armley, where we lived.
Yeah.
Deteriorated terribly.
Fortunately, Rodley's still. And Farsley, next village.
Yeah,
is beautiful. That it's really up and coming, is Farsley.
Yeah, lovely place now, is that? Yeah.
Some nice places round about.
Yeah.
Putsey and Horsforth.
Yeah. Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.